find yourselves on a crisp Dwalhe night in the city of Felderwin, harvest jewel of the Empire. The winter months have passed and spring is coming with warmer temperatures, but not tonight. A lonely halfling man stumbles down the dark dirt street about him and hood up, headed towards the bright lamp lights of the glassy grass inn. The wooden door creaks open as he steps into the warm interior of the inn. A bald man with a chiseled chin and scar on his right cheek greets the halfling with a wave as he polishes a mug behind the bar. The halfling glances around the room, eyeing the current patrons. He sees a young human man and woman sat at one of the tables, eyeing each other affectionately, whispering and giggling over a couple mugs of ale. At another table, a pair of halfling men sit with a little halfling boy, spooning warm potato mash into the kid's mouth. Sitting near the front wall of the inn, but out of the way from everyone else, is a hooded elven figure in a green dress. A plate of bread, cheese, and dried meats is laid before her, along with a mug of water. She eats quietly, keeping an eye on the room, and glances at the newly arrived halfling. Off near the fireplace in the back of the inn sits a tall, red-scaled dragonborn, hat tilted down, sipping from a cup of what looks to be tea. The taste is bitter and herbal, not entirely pleasant. The halfling stumbles over to the bar and pulls up a stool. Already slightly inebriated, the halfling orders a pint and dried meats to snack on. About 10 minutes later, the door creaks open again. A looming dark figure enters the inn, and as the light washes over him, the patrons see a furbolg, with dark bluish black hair on his head and brown fur. The furbolg eyes the room before heading over to the barkeep, striking up a light conversation and ordering an ale. After a brief exchange, he takes his mug and walks over to the fireplace, finding an available chair near the fire to relax by. Another 20 minutes or so pass by, and another traveler enters the inn. A young, brown-haired, half-elven man in grayish-blue robes. He walks in, nonchalantly making his way to the barkeep. Slightly confused by the barkeep's appearance, he asks about Old Man Spriggan, that runs the inn. The barkeep informs him that the innkeeper is sick, and he was hired to hold down the fort, so to speak. The half-elven man pulls up a stool next to the inebriated halfling at the bar, and they share some drink and food, discussing random things. Not but a few minutes later, the door slams open, and a dark elf man strolls into the inn in an extravagant display of bravado. Nicely dressed, with combed back, silver hair, and piercing red eyes, the dark elf waltzes over to the barkeep, where they strike up a conversation. The dark elf offers a bargain: free entertainment to the barkeep and patrons in exchange for food and drink. The barkeep shrugs in agreement, and the dark elf makes his way to the fireplace, gathering everyone's attention. Standing in front of the chairs, he places a small open leather pouch at a nearby table, the sound of clanging coins within. He pulls the lute off his back and begins to play a smooth, sweet melody, taking away the aches and pains of the day. He finishes the song with a bow, and there's a smattering of applause from the patrons. The little halfling boy waddles up to the leather pouch and drops a copper coin inside it before giggling and running back to his parents. The night carries on for a couple hours, with patrons enjoying their meals and drink. The halfling boy at this point has fallen asleep, and as the parents begin to get up and head home, you all see them stumble before collapsing on the ground unconscious. Confused, you all glance about. The halfling and half-elven man at the bar both have their heads down on the bar table, unconscious as well. The lovers slump in their seats. The dragonborn drops his tea and falls off his chair, knocked out. The hooded figure near the front is still, but as the furbolg begins to lose consciousness himself, he notices that this elven woman seems to be asleep. and as the Furbolg slumps over in his chair unconscious, he just barely catches the glimpse of the smiling barkeep. You five awaken in a dark room. You feel battered and slightly bruised. As you look around, your eyes adjust to the dark room, and you see rock walls surrounding you, and you feel dirt beneath your feet. The slight gradient of what looks like bluish moonlight paints the far wall from you, where there seems to be an opening. All of your hands seem to be wrapped tightly in front of you with thick rope. Drummond and Nimdath, your feet are bound, and you are chained to each other by rusty metal shackles. Jobu and Reeve, you are similarly chained together on your feet. Kaina, your feet are bound as well in shackles, but you are chained to what looks to be a large, heavy metal ball.